Hey, I'm Dennis Richardson, and before I share my vision for Oregon as a candidate for governor, I want to let you know who I am as a person. I'm the son of a hard-working union carpenter and a stay-at-home mom. Both were adults during the Great Depression, and their experiences from the 30s taught me to avoid debt when possible and to avoid wasting anything and to plan for the future. I worked my way through college. I married too young and became a father, enlisted in the Army, and flew helicopters in Vietnam. Although my Huey got shot up, I never got shot down. But while I was in Vietnam, divorce papers came, and when I returned from Vietnam, it was a hard adjustment. I was an unpopular Vietnam vet. I was unemployed, a single dad with child support payments, and my life was turned upside down. After struggling to find myself, I found God and I found a girl, and my life was changed forever. And Kathy and I have been married for 40 years now. We have a large family, 8 daughters, and they all have a brother. It's the same one, but having a family of 9 children and many grandchildren has truly been amazing. I've worked on the school district's budget committee. I coach girls soccer. With 8 girls, you can imagine that I had some soccer to coach and to do whatever was necessary as they grew up. I also served as a Boy Scout leader. Kathy and I even did a commercial once where we showed our 8 girls and said, "We support the Boy Scouts of America." And then we asked the question, why would the parents of 8 girls support the Boy Scouts of America? Well, then we flipped over and showed all of our son-in-laws, 5 of whom have been Eagle Scouts, and they've all been involved in scouting. We ended it by saying, if you care about your daughters, support the Boy Scouts. And I still believe that. I was a city council member and was elected to the State House of Representatives in 2002. During my 11 years in the legislature, I was elected unanimously by my Democrat and my Republican colleagues as Speaker Pro Tem and served as a co-chair of Ways and Means. This is the committee that drafted the Oregon $60 billion state budget. And we did it without raising taxes and without substantially increasing Oregon's debt load, fines, or fees. In short, I believe my background has helped prepare me to become Oregon's chief executive. Now, as we consider my candidacy to become Oregon's next governor, I want to make it clear that even though Oregon has many problems, I'm excited and optimistic about Oregon's future. As I travel around the state, I'm constantly reminded of Oregon's many and diverse natural and human resources. We in Oregon have so much going for us. But let me be candid and clear. Oregon's potential is being blocked by our current third-term governor's blatant disregard for Oregon's potential and for the will of its citizens. It's really hypocrisy. When it comes to the Columbia River crossing, as you recall, he didn't care that the state of Washington refused to pay anything for a new light rail bridge across the Columbia. He didn't listen to our state legislature. He wanted a bridge, and he wanted it even if he had to go it alone, in direct contradiction of the CRC restrictions passed by the Oregon legislature. Such blatant disrespect for the legislative process and our constitutional separation of powers cannot be ignored. He promised to be the education governor and address the fact that nearly a third of Oregon's high school students failed to graduate with their classmates. His solution to Oregon's crumbling education system was to hire Rudy Crew for $284,000 a year. Another failure of judgment and lack of oversight. Now, speaking of lack of oversight, no discussion of this governor's failed tenure can be complete without uncovering Cover Oregon. His denials, equivocations, and I don't remembers are suspect and sordid enough, but to continue wasting tens of millions of taxpayer dollars on this failed Cover Oregon project merely to avoid political embarrassment is the final straw. Refusing to take responsibility for his failure to oversee his legacy project is not the sign of a good leader, and to continue spending millions to avoid accepting that responsibility should outrage every Oregonian who cares about our state. I say, Governor, this is just like baseball. 3 strikes and you're out. Fortunately, we have an alternative. We can elect a governor that listens to the people. I know what it's like to be unemployed, to feel down and out. I've been there myself, and I promise to address the problems and lift our people from the despair that is rampant. We can elect a governor who will unite urban and rural interests and represent all of Oregon. We can elect a governor who will research and negotiate real solutions to solve Oregon's challenges. Every problem Oregon faces is being solved successfully somewhere. We can learn what has worked and what hasn't worked in other states and other nations, and we can choose the best for Oregon. I'm Dennis Richardson, and I promise to restore to the governor's office a renewed commitment for leadership, accountability, service, and respect for all Oregonians, young and old. Oregon deserves it, and with successful leadership, Oregon's best days truly are ahead.